It's going to take some people coming back home to the community. It's going to take people who have achieved educationally, maybe professionally, who make a conscious decision to say, you know what? The hood needs me. My neighborhood needs me. There are some young boys that need positive mentors. What's up, everybody? I'm still here. Can you believe it? I am still here on this rooftop. That's right. My name is Pastor Corey Brooks, and I'm living in this tent for 100 days from November the 20th to February 28th, bring awareness to the violence in Chicago, but not just bring awareness to the violence in Chicago, but raise money to build a community center on this block that's called O Block. O because it's named after a young man named O.D. Perry who was shot and killed. The gangs picked up his name, the letter O in his name, and started calling it O Block. We decided we're going to keep the O for Opportunity Block. We're about making opportunities. And today, I'm like really excited to have with us a young man who is now part of our staff, but it's his story that I want you to hear about and his commitment to what he's doing now. Today, I have with me Brian Alexander. Brian, how you doing?
I'm good, I'm good. Thank you for having me.
So, Brian, let's jump right in because we don't have a lot of time.
All right.
How did you get here? I mean, how did you get here tonight?
Yeah, so Pastor Brooks has actually been my pastor since I was about 12 or so years old. When New Beginnings was actually still inside of a school auditorium. We were sharing space in there in Doolittle down on 35th Street. So I spent some of my very, very formative years here, growing up in the church, growing up in this community, as well as we transitioned to our new site here on King Drive. So I took some time and went away to school and spent some time at Howard University in Washington, D.C., where I had a chance to study political science and then go on to go to law school and kind of spend a lot of time really in that race, chasing the things that people chase in those sorts of circles. And honestly, long story short, once COVID hit and had a chance to really kind of sit down and evaluate my life, you know, and being in DC, you really think that machine needs you to run, and everyone thinks so much of themselves. But I really began to realize that that my heart was really very much empty because I wasn't able to give back in the way that I really want to. I saw in the media how Chicago was really being portrayed. People were drawn to me because I was from Chicago, but not necessarily because of me, but because of the things that they saw and they associated with Chicago, the things that the media had associated with Chicago. And it was just really, really important to me to not waste another day of my life and of my gifts that I have as well. So after COVID was over, I came back in March and started to volunteer here. I really felt like there was no better place for me to be and to have immediate impact rather than here at Project Hood. And the rest is pretty much history.
You know what? I want to say something because here's a success story. Here's a young man who's been with us since he was 12. How old are you now?
35.
So he's 35 now. So here's a young man who's been with us for a long time. And you grew up in the hood. Not only did you grow up in the hood, but you went to school, educated yourself, got a law degree, and you worked in DC, but realized it wasn't fulfilling. And being involved in government isn't always the most fulfilling thing.
No.
Yeah. And you decided to come back and work in the hood. Why come back and work in the hood? Why is that so important?
Yeah, because exposure is really everything, man. If we're not for the individuals who were in my life that were in the church and just hanging around, they really enabled me to really see that there was more out there for myself and more in me as well. And I really do believe that you can't be what you can't see. So it's important for me to come back and really like just be the best version of myself that I could possibly be, because I know that there are so many young people who are watching, so many folks, so many ways in which that we get to interact and positively affect the lives of those who are in this community as well. And honestly, just to come back and just love on my community. right? To be an example of someone coming back to where they're from and not leaving where they're from, and investing in it and sticking with it in order to see it become what you know that it can be, and really help to deliver a life and a community that these residents really do truly deserve.
You know what? And that's what it's going to take. It's going to take some people coming back home to the community. It's going to take people who have achieved educationally, maybe professionally, who make a conscious decision to say, you know what? The hood needs me. My neighborhood needs me. There are some young boys that need positive mentors. And so we want to encourage all of you who are educated and professional, man, please come back home, help us in this endeavor to transform a neighborhood, because that's what it's really all about. Brian, thank you for being part of Project Hood and helping to run our organization. Thank you for being back, and thank you for being a positive example.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank y'all for joining Rooftop Revelations. And until tomorrow, peace.